Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Wanja Waibaka and this is episode 2 of learning about shares. So a few things I need to make clear before I proceed. Number one, for this specific series, I'm only going to be talking about buying shares from companies listed in the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Point number two, when I talked about the difference between shares and bonds, and I said that they are low risk investments, I was talking about infrastructural bonds, because when you go to private companies, when you buy bonds in private companies, there is a possibility that that company might crash, which makes it kind of high risk. But when you are looking at the government, this is low risk because the government is not going anywhere. The government's possibility to crash is very low. As much as the government might be doing very badly, like things are going, the possibility of the government defaulting in terms of bonds is very low. So that's also something I wanted to make clear. And another thing I also wanted to make clear is you might not understand these things in the beginning. I might look like that, like I'm yapping around, but as we continue, things will start making sense. Like you will just start joining the dots slowly. So I am urging you, as much as, okay, you might not have understood some things in the first video, but they will start making sense as we proceed, because I will be going back to correct some things or to clarify on some things that I had talked about in my previous videos. Yes, so today's video, I had said that I was going to talk about equity funds from different companies, and I said I was going to do like how I did the money markets video. Yes, but before we get onto that, I want to first give you the categories of the companies that are traded in the Nairobi Securities Exchange, so that you know what exactly, like if you get into equity funds, if you decide to buy shares directly, you know which categories, like where exactly they're investing that money in. So just give me 1 minute, I open my business daily. Yes, yes, so we have the business daily, and yes, so here we are. So we have agriculture, where we can have like Kakuzi, Sasinity, you know, the likes. We have automobiles and accessories. This is where we have kind general. Then we have banking, for example, Barclays, Bank, Diamond Trust, the likes, KCB. Then we have commercial and services. This is like Kenya Airways, Longon, Express, Everready. Then we have, oh, that's also includes Standard, Nation Media, Samia Group, Uchumi. There are more in that list. Then we have construction and Alibi, where we have Bamburi Cement, EA Cables, etc. Then we have energy and petroleum, where we have Akina Kengen, Kenya Power, Total. Insurance, we have Britam, CIC, Jubilee, etc. Investment, we have Centum, we have Transcentury, Olympia. Then we have investment services, for example, the NSC. Manufacturing and allied, we have BAT, we have EABL, Kenya Orchards, Unga. Then in telecommunications and technology, we have Safaricom. Real estate, we have Stanlib, and exchange traded funds, we have New Gold ETF. So those are some of the things that are traded in the those are some of the companies that you can invest in when you are buying shares. But today we are mainly dealing with equity funds. So equity funds, what did I explain equity funds are? Equity funds is whereby a financial institution pulls money from different individuals, and then from there, when they wholesomely get that money, they invest it in shares now in some of the companies that I have listed. So that's what they do. They pull money from different individuals, and then from there they can decide which companies can we invest this money in. That's how they buy shares. Somehow you don't have any control as to which companies they invest in, but you should give them the benefit of doubt because they earn their commission through your interest. Like if you gain something, they earn the commission out of that. So they wouldn't want you to make a loss because they also earn from that interest. Yes, that is a big difference between investing in equity funds and buying shares directly. Because when you are buying shares directly, that means you have control over which companies you want to buy shares in. You can ask someone to advise you, but if you don't want that company, you can say, nah, like just buy for me in this and this company. In equity funds, you can't do that. Give them the benefit of doubt to do their work because you believe that they know what they're doing basically. Yes. So equity funds. We will start with Britam. Britam, the minimum amount is below 3,000. I think it's 2,500. They didn't really mention it, but the fees that you will pay is the initial fee, which is 2% of the investment fee, and the management fee, which is 2.5% per annum. So you can see for investing in equity funds, their fees are more because this is a high risk investment as compared to money markets, which is not as hard because they are looking at short-term investments which are kind of assured. But equity funds, you might lose, you might gain. So even their fees has to be more because they have to take more caution when managing these accounts. For Cyton, the minimum investment is 5,000 shillings. The management fee is 2.5% per annum, and the minimum top-up is 1,000 shillings. For Sanlam, I will give two examples. They don't have a specific equity fund, but what they have is a balanced fund. And for the Sanlam Chama, the ratio is equity funds is 40% and the fixed income is 60%. The minimum amount is 2,500 shillings. The minimum top-up is 1,000 shillings. Yeah, and then now we have the Sanlam Pata. This is another category under Sanlam, whereby the equity is 30% and the fixed income is 70%. So you can see Sanlam Chama is more of high risk because the equity here is 40%, while Sanlam Pata, the equity is 30%. So here they have the same terms. Minimum amount is 2,500, minimum top-up is 1,000 shillings. The goodness with Sanlam now, you can switch from different accounts. If you feel like you're taking a very high risk at this time and you don't want to do so anymore, you are allowed to change from one fund to another for free, but once a month. Yeah. So for CBA, the minimum investment amount is 5,000 shillings. The minimum top-up is 5,000 shillings. The management fee is 2% per annum. So for them, they don't have any joining fee. You just invest. Yeah. So CIC, the minimum amount is 5,000 shillings. The minimum additional amount is 1,000 shillings. There is an initial fee. So the initial fee is 5% of your investment, and the annual management fee is 2% per annum. So as you can see, for some of them, they don't have the initial fee. Some of them do have the initial fee. Some of them have a joining fee, of course, to open an account. For some of them, there's no joining fee. And then you can see the variation in terms of the management fees between 2% and 2.5% per annum. Yeah. So that's basically how equity funds work. As I repeat, you are not assured of making a profit. That is why it's a long-term investment. Within the 3 months, the company might be doing very badly. But at the end of the year, the company might be doing very well. So if the company is doing badly, obviously the share price will go down. It will go down. So if you want to guess your way out of it, if you think they're going to be doing very well in future, you can buy the shares at that low price and you can sell it at a high price. That is if you're investing directly. But for equity funds, trust that they know what they are doing. Yes, trust that they know what they are doing. The goodness with equity funds, it's a bit cheaper than when you look at buying shares directly, because I said when you are buying shares directly, you are looking at it from the perspective whereby you are buying 100 shares at minimum. So look at your funds and see whether you can buy minimum of 100 shares. But for equity funds, as you can see, you can start with as little as 2,000 shillings, 1,000 shillings. There is nothing like 100 shares or something like that. It's the institution to decide where they're going to invest their money in. So for equity funds, it's a bit more flexible than buying shares directly. Yes, and I don't want to make this video long today. That was what I was going to mainly talk about. But from the next video, we are going to start talking about the requirements for you to trade in the Nairobi Securities Exchange, what fees you're going to be paying, and how exactly it works. For example, are you going to be using a broker? Can you do it without a broker? Is there a way you can do it online? So that's what we're going to start talking about from the next video, and I will be joined by a friend, so you guys stay tuned if you want to learn more about stocks. Yes, I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Yes, and see you guys next time. Bye.